This conference will now be recorded.
Huh? Yes, I said you to attend, do R&D on depreciation. So have you done that? Anybody? Nobody? Hmm? What is depreciation? You said that reduced, but there is something extra. The simple is always remember this simple concept. I said this on the on accounting basic class also. Whenever your entries or else any expenses is which we have done, which we are going to do, the usage of that particular expenses is going to cross more than 1 year, then we treat them as assets and we recover them. No, not everything. Like investment will not be treated like that. But if you say something you're buying, that's what investment is, not an expenses. But if you are buying some car, if you are buying some house, if you are buying something which you get, like which you cannot you carry on for more than 1 year, that we call it as depreciation. Right. That we call it as assets. So why we call it as depreciation? See, if you buy something like materials for producing product, or else if you buy some printing and stationery expenses you have done, you directly book that expenses under P&L account. Am I right? Why don't we keep P&L account as this one asset? Because assets are the things which are we are going to use it more than 1 year. If you are using within 1 year, or if you are keeping that, and if you are keeping that for longer usage, then we call that is assets. Those assets, whatever the investment which you have done, right, for more than 1 year or something, that we just book the partial values as a depreciation expenses, because in advance we make a payment. In advance means we make the payment to the car, but we are going to use it 5 years. 5 years we are going to reduce the value, means we are going to book that expenses for 1 year, each year 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. That's nothing but expenses, but we pay it in advance. See, if you keep that 5 lakh, if you do 1 lakh rupees, if you do that 1 lakh rupees, if you keep it in cash, okay, just assume that to understand better, and you buy a car, okay, you buy a car and you pay 1 lakh rupees, that means your cash will reduce. Am I right? If you buy a car, that cash will reduce, and your car asset will come to the this one. But if you don't pay 1 lakh rupees, you just buy a car, your cash will be there, right? Hmm? Am I right? Are you
Yes,
getting my
sir.
point? What I'm telling? Yeah.
Yes,
That means what I'm
sir.
trying to tell you. If you buy a car here, just assume that you have 10,000 rupees here, okay? Like 1 lakh rupees here. Just assume you took a bank loan. You buy a car. If you pay money, 1 lakh rupees to them, then obviously your cash will reduce and car will come to picture. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
If you don't pay, you buy a car. Car value will be there, but the 1 lakh rupees car, what you have a creditors. Is the balance sheet. That 1 lakh rupees car, what you have not paid. So he agrees to take, just assume that he agrees to take 20,000 rupees each year. 5 years he will agree. Okay, you pay five installment, 5 years, 20,000, 20,000. He says. Then, if you are paying 10, 20,000, 20,000 every year, what you are going to make? So every year, just assume that there is no other transactions. You are going to reduce creditors and you are going to reduce cash. Reduce creditors, reduce cash. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You're making a payment, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that means if he is ready to take the values after usage, then you are going to make it as a creditors. If you, nobody agrees that one, like 5 years, 10 years, you do. Obviously, what you are going to make a payment immediately. But 1 lakh rupees, whatever you invested, right? So this actually what happens. This is an advanced expenses which you have done in a long term. That is the meaning of asset actually. You have made an advance. That means every time we use this car for our business for each year, based on the depending on the values, whatever the like sorry, based on the estimated life expectancy. So we reduce that one. If you decide okay, it's going to be used for 5 years, then okay, for each year 20,000 rupees, you are going to reduce. Reduce means it's already a debit value which wanted to be in this one. Like instead of making a vendor payment to the vendor, we are going to make a payment to the we are going to debit that 20,000 P&L account debit depreciation and we credit this car. So that means it's each time it will reduce this one. But 20,000 whatever rupees you depreciation you booked, it's not going to be make a payment to the vendor. Remember? Are you going to make a payment to the vendor? No. Vendor is already paid, right? Because of cash
Yes.
reduced. So that means what we do, right? Generally, we do it in an accumulated depreciation GL. So a liability GL we keep. Every year we keep adding this. That means 20,000 rupees we debit depreciation account, depreciation expenses account, 20,000 rupees. And instead of car account, we actually in company and all, like in college and all, we do like this. Actually, it's not correct actually. We keep it in accumulated depreciation. Why you keep it in accumulated depreciation account? See now what happens, it will show that value how much we recovered from this car from the expenses. So we are not paying it one instead of paying to the vendor because a vendor in advance we paid already that we are accumulating here. Each year 20,000, 20,000, 5 years once it is done, okay, then we clear this non credit and we clear this debit and we bring a new car. Are you getting my point? What I'm telling? So that means this whatever the expenses we book it, it's an expenses we are reducing our profit. The profit, see, say for example, if you don't book the depreciation, you just assume that if you don't book the depreciation, our profit will increase, right? By increase by 20,000, right? If you don't book this entry, am I right? What I'm telling? If you forget to do the
Yes, sir.
depreciation, yes, profit will increase, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So that means if you book this, our profit will reduce. So that profit, whatever we're just keeping here, not anywhere else. Instead of keeping in profit, we are keeping in account. Because what is that? We are recovering the investment what we have done to reinvest it whenever we want. That's the meaning of that depreciation. Got it?
Depreciation is a expenses but not a loss, no, sir.
Expenses.
But not its loss. It's not a loss.
It's not a loss. It's a recovery of what we invested. It's
Okay.
not a loss. That's the meaning we should understand. The real time works like this. Real time works like this. The recovery may be different methods like WDV, return down value method, declining balance method, straight line method, production oriented method, like these different methods may be there. But ultimately we recover the value what we invested. So we keep it here Okay, we keep it here. See, for example, if you reduce the value 20,000 rupees here by depreciation, our profit will reduce. But what is the 20,000 rupees we have reduced, right? Who will, to whom we are paying? We have to keep an account here. That is the reality. Okay, so have this much idea now. So don't go for deeper right now, because when you have this seed in your mind, so then when you are doing other things, you will get it connected automatically. If you have this seed in your mind, automatically you will get connected all the things when I do the transactions. Okay, you got my point? Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
So depreciation key means what? So I have made one depreciation key. That means I assigned a depreciation key called Lina, Lina. That is, when I was doing this, I selected Lina. What is that depreciation key? Depreciation key, it identifies method of depreciation. Method of depreciation means we have different methods like straight line method, SLM, WDV, return down value method, declining balance method. Like this, different methods are there. So these keys, depreciation keys, will identify that what type of depreciation we are going to follow for this asset class, asset group. So we used LINA. LINA is a standard straight line method depreciation key. That's it. So I'm telling that if I do purchase any assets under this group, then that should be depreciated under straight line method. And now you said that your in your system it's not able to select or the something. I'll correct it in backend. Okay, then it will work. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'll correct it in backend. Okay, I don't want to show you how it works and other things right now, the technical things. I'm going to show it later stage. Right now, just concentrate on only process. Yes, depreciation key, you understood, and we'll go. So we have finished this configuration now for assets. We have finished configuration for assets. Next is master data. We have to create assets now to purchase the assets. For creating asset master, the T code is AS01. AS01 is the asset master. What is this asset master? So let us create like building 1, building 2, building 3, like 4 assets I'll create. Four assets I'm going to create. Building 1, building 2, building 3, building 4. So let me go to AS01. AS01. Here you should select the asset class. What we created asset class? We created asset class Y100. It is there. So enter the company code and enter the number of similar asset 1. Automatically it comes. Enter in keyboard and mention this building. The description, name of the asset. You can mention in the main text and also description. After that, there are many things to be understood that we learn it later stage. There is a time dependent data like we are going to mention many things here, and it is asking for capitalization date. Actually, capitalization date it should not ask here. I'll correct it. Somebody is doing this activation. I'll correct it in backend, don't worry. Because if I show you that now, that will make you confused in while seeing recording. Yes, I'm going to do this again. That AS01, same as I enter the asset class and company code and number of asset and building one and building one. So now it won't ask for mandatory. So then there is a time dependent data. This and all we are going to learn at later stage, and we can maintain assignment, who is it is assigned, and who is doing all these things. Simply they change the things. I don't know why they do this. All these things. See, when you are doing anything, any changes, right? So we should always do copy and do the changes. We should not touch the standard actually. If you do the standard change, right, when you copy that one, so that will affect others also who copied it. Many things we copy, right, like that. So that's what is happening here. It's asking for posting information mandatory. It's asking for time dependent data mandatory. It's not actually not mandatory. So what I'm trying to tell you, these and only we are going to learn it later stage. Directly come to depreciation area here. So the Lena, whatever we selected over there, right? That's going to be can be selected here. If you don't select here, select there. You are telling that okay, you are trying to select over there, but it's not selecting, right? It's grayed out. Don't worry if you can't select over there. However, the selection what we have done the Lena, it's going to reflect here in this depreciation area while you are creating asset under this group. When you're creating asset under this group, you are going to select this Lena. You can select here D. Sorry. You can select this key here. As it's a straight line method, it is mandatory that you should have useful life because straight line method is always depend on how much life estimation you have done. Then you should enter and I enter 10 years here and save it. That means I'm telling this building one is values of 10 years. Second asset which I'm going to create, this is the asset number which is created by system. 7000000, the number range what we maintain, from that it will generate. From that it will generate. This is the asset number. Let me create an asset for second one, building 2. The same, and go to time dependent data and go to depreciation area. Lena is already came here, or else you can select from here. So I'm going to mention 10 years here again 10 years, and save it. So it generates the next number, 7.0001. This is the second asset number. Building 3 I'm creating. Again same asset class. Go to depreciation area directly, and here I'll mention 20 years for this. For this I'm mentioning 20 years, and save it. This is the third one, 70002. Building 4, fourth asset. Again same, AS01. Go to depreciation areas, and here again 10. So only for one asset I made 20 years. Okay, this is 3. That means for this life expectancy, useful life, 10 years, 10 years, and 20 years, and 10 years. This is what I did. So let us buy these assets. How you can buy the assets? Before I show you the buy the assets, I'm going to show you one transaction. Okay, normal transactions what we have done before. So you know, right? We have done the printing and stationery. Many times we have done printing and stationery debit to vendor credit we have done, right? This is what we have done. Where do you, which T code we have done this? Which T code?
FP60, sir.
FP60 we have done.
B6.
Yes. Let us do this activity again. Before I purchase asset, I'm going to do one normal transactions what you have done till now. FB60. Here what we are doing. First company code, and select the vendor, which vendor you want to post. Enter the date, and as usual select the GL account and amount, and enter, and it will accept. This is the entry which we have done. And when I simulate this, have you noticed that? Okay, have you noticed one thing? This is the credit entry and this is debit entry. How did you identify it? It's a minus mark is there. But here there is this PK column is there, that is 31 and 40. Actually in SAP we do not see this debit and credit. In debit and credit you only see in this FB50, FB60 and FB70. Right? So because SAP do not follow the concept of debit and credit, they follow the concept of posting keys. PK means posting keys. For the type of transactions what we are doing, system generates automatically a posting key. Why I'm telling this one? So when you want to purchase this one, like when I want to purchase something printing and stationery, now you see I'm going to do the same transaction in another T code, the same transaction. What transaction? The same printing and stationery and debit to vendor credit. Which one? I'm going to use a transaction code called F-04. F-04. Here, or else I use F-43. You'll come to know all this in future. So F-43 has come automatically. But what you see? See here I use KR document automatically picked up. Here automatically KR document is there. Period and other things, everything is there. Here I should pick up the date, which date I'm doing this activity. And as usual, reference and other things like what we have done. Like here, date, reference, and other things we can enter here. But when you enter here, you don't find the like vendor. You have to select vendor. You have to select GL, not like that. Here, so whatever after simulating, I get this 31. 31 means vendor credit invoice. So automatically 31 is there. I should select that vendor here. That means actually SAP works with concept of posting is not with debit and credit. So I select that Deepa here and enter. I'm going to enter the amount. Again, I need to select this 40. That is posting key. 40 means debit GL account. 31 means credit vendor. 40 means debit GL account. You don't need to remember all those things. System, most of the time, system automatically picks. Only these type of entries when we do manually, like in the screens left side, you required it. So here I pick up the GL account, printing and stationery GL, and enter the amount. And like just like this simulation we have here, we have the simulation here also on the document. You see the same thing you see here, like KR document, date and other things, bill number, reference, everything we see here. And here 31 debit, so 31 credit, 40 debit, 31 debit, 40 debit. Why I'm showing this one is like the FB60 entry what we have done, we can do the same entry in a different screen, F-43 also, but we do it in the posting key concept, not with debit and credit concept. Are you getting my point? What I'm telling? Actually, this is reality what I did now. Most of the time system automatically picks up the posting keys. You don't need to worry about remembering and other things at all. Okay. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear now?
Sir, for
What does it?
customer, which T code will use?
So customers, there's a FTS 22.
22. Okay.
See, don't worry
Posting keys.
about like, see that's what. Don't go for that level now. Okay, only think what I'm telling here. Okay, for vendors, okay, vendor is this one. Customer and other things and all, you learn it automatically in future. Don't worry about it. So what is the concept here? So yes, I can post the transactions like this also for vendors. Yes, customers we are going to learn later stage. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So I can save this. Why did I showed you in between when I'm doing asset? See, if when we're doing assets, right? So you got to know that we can do the transaction in F-43 also. The same transactions we can do in F-43. This is what I showed you. To purchase assets. Okay, so you're right. So what we have done here, the posting key, what we have maintained here, PK, posting key. Posting key is important. That's it. Here it's 40 debit, this one, and this is 31 credit, right? Here also same. So in FB60 it's automatically picked up. Here we are doing manually, we have selected. This is 40 and 31. For assets purchase, Okay. Here it's not purchasing of printing and stationery. It's a purchase of assets. So vendor credit is 31 only, but assets debit is 70. It's not a GL account, right? It's 70. So I already said don't try to remember this posting keys and all. Just understand only this much. Automatically system picks up most of them. There is a logic for posting keys remembrance that I will teach you later stage. Okay, we have to do this. So which T code we do it? We can do this transaction of asset purchasing F dash 90. This is the T code for asset purchase. SAP predefined the T codes where we can post the transactions for into different types of transactions. So when you look into this F-90, see what difference you see. You see the same KR, same, everything is same, only heading is same. Acquisition from purchase with vendor, header data. This is vendor invoice. But other than this, we are doing vendor invoice only. But this is for asset, this is for, you don't feel any differences. So here, if I want to book an asset, so I go here and I mentioned the invoice number, and I can mention even text narration, asset purchase. So come down here. Here also you find the 31. Here also you find. So here you can pick up the vendor. Which vendor of this company? Let me take Arshita. Enter. So I am going to buy the asset for purchases of building one is only 120 rupees. It may not be reality, but I take it purposefully 120. I'll take it. Okay. I'm purchasing an asset at 120 rupees. But here, what we have done, we have selected 40 here. But instead, I'm going to select 70 here. 70 means you can enter directly 70 because there are many codes are there that you're going to, I'm going to teach you later stage. 70 means what? It's a debit asset. A means asset, D means debit asset. I'm going to debit the asset so that I should select 70. And here, whenever you select 70 here, if you go inside, you find only assets, whichever we have created, like building 1, building 2, building 3, building 4. I'm going to purchase this asset from this vendor for 120 rupees. But whenever you are using asset purchases, you have to mention mandatorily transaction type. T type means mandatorily 100. T type means how we are going to acquire this. There are many types are there transaction. It will help you to generate the reports. What are the assets which acquired using one second. Using what type of transaction, whether it's an internally transferred or we built or we purchased from outside like that. So you just enter 100 here, external acquisition. Then enter in keyboard and enter the amount again and you simulate. Only change what you see here, that 70. 70 means asset it's going to be. Save this. We have purchased asset. Let me purchase one more asset. So the asset number 2, I am going to purchase from Naga Traders. Enter. But this time I'm going to purchase this building number 2 at 240 rupees. I'm going to multiply with 12. 12, 120, 240, 360. I'm going to use like this. Okay. I tell you why. Again, it is 70 here. That is, the 70 is the posting key. And you can select the build this one like building number 2. Transaction type 100. Enter. 240 rupees and simulate and save it. So again, third one, 7. The vendor is different. I'll take it. 360 rupees. I'll take it. Third building I'm purchasing at 360 and Porchink is 70 and building number 3, this is 100. Enter 360, simulate and save it. Third one is done. The last one, ₹480, 70. Select the asset. Building number 4, 100. Enter 480, simulate and save. What happens? I have purchased 4 assets now, right?
This
Recording.
conference will now be recorded.
So we have purchased the asset. That is 3 assets we have purchased. The 3 assets, we can see this all these assets in one T code like called AR01. This is a report where we can see the assets, what we have, what's the assets and what are the assets which we have purchased. So here, before I show you this, I just want to tell. So if the value of this asset, what we purchased is about 120 rupees and 240 rupees, and this is 360 rupees and 360, and this is 480 rupees. So total assets we have purchased. So if it's a useful life, then because you know the straight line method follows like depending on the estimated years, it will calculate the depreciation. If it is 10 years, what's the value for per year depreciation? Per year depreciation for this 120 rupees. How much? Yes, if it is 120 rupees I purchased, if it is like if I'm going to use it for 10 years, what is the per year depreciation?
12.
12
12.
rupees. This one?
24.
And this one?
36. No, no,
This
no,
is
sorry.
36.
No, no, no. It's 36. 18.
18. So that we can do it like divided by 20. 18.
18.
This is 14. So here, if it is per year, it's 12 rupees. What's the per month?
1. 1 rupees. 2.
This one.
And this is 1.5.
Where is 2K kids?
4
2K,
rupees.
2K kids means Nagalakshmi and Ashita. So we call them 2K kids. So all calculators. Oh, so tell me, Arshita Nagalakshmi, what's the per year, per month? You have to calculate in mind, not in calculator, mobile. Hmm? 4 rupees, right? Per month. Okay. So why I'm telling this one, right? I show you this. I go to AR01. This is asset register or asset balance we can see here. AR01. Enter the company code and you can enter the asset class wise, or else you can remove asset class because we have only one asset class. We are asking the system bring the report of all assets, okay, balances. As on reporting date automatically comes the last day of the year. We are following Jan to December last day, but I'll ask the system to please generate the report for 06 30th 06. It should be the report date always should be last day of the month for assets. Okay, and I'm asking, okay, give me the report for as on 36. What is the value of my asset? And select this use ALV grid. ALV means as a ABAP list viewer. It's an Excel format. It will show. Execute this. So you're getting the asset acquisition value 120 rupees, building 1 240 rupees, 360 and 480, right? Just if you just come right side little bit, you see the accumulated depreciation as on the reporting date is as on 36, that is June end. So at the June end, the depreciation is going to be 1 rupee. So why did I take this 120 rupees, 240 rupees? Because you don't get the fractions. If you take 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees, you get fractions. You don't understand actually system. To understand system, always use simple numbers and simple logic. See, what you are trying to do here, you are trying to understand the system here. You are not trying to do the activity. Activity, you can do it once you get the real time. Right now, you have to understand how system works. That's the reason if you take a small number, specifically I take 10 years, 120 months, it has 120 divided by 120, 1 rupee depreciation for 1 month. So by end of the month, the value of the book value will be 119 rupees. Like that is 120 rupees we purchase, depreciation 1 minus 1 rupee, that's 119 rupees. So this will be the value as on 30. This is how a system automatically calculates. See, SAP is made for most of the things automatically. This is the starting of the things which we are doing right now. So got the idea how?
Yes, sir.
Others, Harshita and Lakshmi, you don't
Yes, sir.
unmute. Everybody, please unmute only. You don't need to unmute every time. You please talk to me every time. Okay?
Sir, I am down.
Yeah.
Sir, if we purchase a furniture land, we have to try new configuration for that, no?
No, only asset group you have to create, not chart of accounts. You have to start with here. I'm going to give that assignment. Okay? So
Yeah.
then you'll come to know. You don't need to do this step. You have to do only this much. You have to do only this much. You don't need. You have to do this activity, and you don't. You have to do this activity, but you don't need to do this activity. This is one-time activity. This and this you don't need to do. If you are adding any new assets, that I give that assignment by end of this class. But you understood, right, how system calculates the depreciation order. So in SAP, you don't need to do calculate. Nobody need to calculate manually like what's the depreciation order. System automatically calculates. Now, if I do the depreciation, what's the entry will come? What's the depreciation entry? If I pass the depreciation entry, right? What's the entry will come? What entry? What's the journal entry?
Depreciation account data to accumulate depreciation account.
Depreciation expenses debit to accumulated depreciation. Why did I say accumulated depreciation? I showed you in the beginning. See, you cannot depreciate directly asset. Asset will be having the same value, but accumulated depreciation will collect the value. I show you that. Right now, you see here, uh, accumulated depreciation, credit, and we have to create these two GLs first to post this transaction. Yes. So this is an expenses account. This is accumulated depreciation. Is a liability account. It's a liability. It's expenses here. So where can I take this? So you have to take these expenses under administration expenses. You can take it, or other expenses you can take. Let me take administration expenses, okay, or manufacturing expenses also we can take. Let me take under administration expenses, okay. 51 already we created 510000 GL account. Okay, I go and create one more GL, FS00, company code is there. Slowly notice that slowly the system is adding, like we are adding the GL accounts. It was started with only 2 GLs, 3 GLs. Now you see automatically it's increasing. So now I want to create this GL. So when you want to create a new GL, which is already created under one group, under that group already a GL is created. You don't need to create from beginning here. As we are using the same group and other things, what you can do, you just select this and click on copy. Say that system copy this all values to the next GL. 510001, the next GL I am telling, enter. System automatically copies everything because you don't need to enter everything right now. Because you see here, it's copied this group and other things, it's copied control data, it's copied create bank interest, everything will be same. So just change the text here. So depreciation expenses GL and save it. So the GL is created. One more accumulated depreciation GL we have to create. Accumulated depreciation GL, where we can create under other current liability, we can create that. Okay, under other current liability, we can create that. So I go here, other current liability, I take this 160000, the first year. Yeah, under this group, we are creating first time. We don't have that other current liability. So that I go to new year, I enter the GL, enter. It's a balance sheet account. It is other current liability and accumulated depreciation building. It's better to create separate accumulated depreciation account for each group, like building, furniture, plant and machinery, like that. And this one normally, this one, and you can after doing this one, it should be asset. It should be recon account. Remember, you have to create it as a recon account, accumulated depreciation account, and select because the data will flow from as a, this one automatically. And whenever you selected the accumulated here, then sorry, the reconciliation, you should select G067, which we already discussed. Save this. The two GLs are ready. One is this is the GL account. Don't get confused. This is the GL account, and this one is GL. So here we don't need to manually post the transactions. Remember, SAP is not made for like manual transaction. Most of the things is automated. Now system calculated the transactions. Now I'm going to tell the system, if I run the depreciation, you have to post to this two GL account. A simple. So where should I go for that? This is the step where we are assigned this assign GL account for asset purchase, right? That like I concentrated on asset GL account like purchases. We have done the purchases. So which I wanted to show you, I forgot actually. So this is the values which we have seen from the asset side. Asset side means individual assets 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go to FS00 and sorry, not FS00, FBL3N. FBL3N. What is this? The GL account view. Here I'll pick up that asset reconciliation account which we have done. So I said about like how asset reconciliation account GL works. So I take this asset building account. Sorry, it should not like it is not actually. I confused. I got confused. I tell you what is that. Okay, asset building account and execute. Now you see this. The values of this total this one it shows 1200 what we purchased here. So like 120, 240, 360. It is not showing asset wise. It is taking total value. It's a reconciliation GL. It is taking individual assets total into one GL. Just like vendors, creditors, customers, debtors. Are you clear with that? Is it clear? Don't keep it in mute. Please unmute. All of you, please be it in unmute unless you don't have a background noise. Please be in unmute only. Every time you don't need
Sir,
to
accumulated depreciation.
Don't, no, I'm not talking about accumulated depreciation. I'm talking about asset reconciliation GL. Not I wanted to show this before, but I forgot. This one. Individual assets will be totaled into asset GL, reconciliation GL, which we created and assigned in this step. In this step, we assigned, right? If I purchase APC,
Yes.
if I purchase asset,
Yes.
remembering?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I show you that. ORFA. Here another integration and assign GL accounts for our chart of account. Account determination Y100. Here I mentioned this should be the GL account. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you getting the logic?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, so the same way we have to tell the system if I do the depreciation run for this. Depreciation is calculated. It has to be posted for every month. So depreciation in companies post by monthly, not by year. In SAP, we don't post the depreciation by period. We can say monthly means we maintain the monthly period. Like each month has one period, right? So periodically it will post. That's the reason system shows the report and calculates the depreciation in monthly wise. Now I showed you that for a June, how much is the depreciation. Now what question? So I made one simple mistake. I confused actually. It should be actually asset GL, not liability GL. Okay. I mistakenly just I confused myself. It should be actually under
Yes, sir.
the same group. In real time, we
Fixed
do the same.
other
Fixed
current
assets only.
asset.
No. Fixed assets only. I tell you the reason.
Usually it
I
is
just
deducted from the fixed asset, no, sir. Accumulated depreciation will be deducted from the fixed asset, no, usually.
fixed assets. Yes, fixed assets only. We do that. So this is not the GL account. If you have done a GL account, if you by mistakenly you have created and if you want to delete it, then what you can do, if you are not posted any transaction, if you are not posted any transaction, then you can delete here. So go to, that is other current liability, select this and ask the system delete. Mark for deletion. If you click this delete, it will ask for mark for deletion, chart of accounts, mark for deletion, company code, and save. So that means we cannot use this. That's done. Okay, there are many procedures that we see later, but this you can be deleted. Now I'm going to create a new asset. So new accumulated depreciation GL. Actually, it is generally it's the last number of the that series. Generally, we use last number of the series for accumulated depreciation. Okay, this is the GL account number. We can skip. There is no restriction that you should use like 1 2 3 only. You can skip whatever. We can use whatever the number. I just copy this as it's already group is there. I already showed you how to copy. Just copy. Only thing is here accumulated depreciation. This is the actual GL. Okay. Now I'm going to tell the system if I do the depreciation, then these are the two GLs should get debited and credited. How? I go to A190. That is A190, nothing but this one. You see here the T codes are coming here. Even though I went through ORFA, the T codes are coming here. Transaction. Here, if I purchase, the system should post to this GL. I showed you the reconciliation already. Now I go to depreciation here and I tell the system. So if I do the depreciation for this group of assets, then the depreciation account should be this one, the expenses account for depreciation. This one, and accumulated depreciation should be this one. So I set the system here. You have to post to this TL account. Let's save it. Done. Got it? After doing this, we can run the depreciation in a T code called AFAB. The T code for depreciation run. AFAB. Let it this open. Enter AFAB and ask the system, I want to run the depreciation for a company code B-21 for the year fiscal year 2024, and the period is 6. Why 6? Because we are maintaining from Jan to December. So the June is 6th period for us. And here detailed log you click, and it is in a test run mode. That means I'm testing whether the entries are correct or not. Just enter here and execute. Yes, you just click yes. System automatically gives the values. For the 6th period, for building 1 rupee, building 2 rupees, building 3 1.5 rupees, building 4 rupees. Total 8 rupees 50 paise is the depreciation value. Once it is in green, just go back and now remove this test run and execute. So actually when you are executing, you should execute through background, in background, and click OK. Immediate. Save, don't check, save. Done. Depreciation posted. A simple transaction. You don't need to manually post this. So how? Now you check. There's a T code for that. What is the depreciation what we have done? Or else you can see the transactions as well. Where? Here you found that one T code is there. AW01N. That is Asset Explorer. We can see individual assets. So what is this Asset Explorer? Go to this T code. AW01N. Here, individual assets, we can see the individual assets, what is actually is going on. Like in AR01, what we have seen in bulk. Okay, this is the entry, like this is the depreciation like this. And here, say for example, I have purchased, let me take from the beginning, first one. I purchased it for 120 rupees. It's a planned values tab. That means I purchased acquisition is 120 rupees. And 7 rupees will be the depreciation, because June, July, August, September, October, November, December is the end of the year. For the 2024 financial year, it is 7 rupees. For each month, 1 rupee. And this is the purchase entry. If you can double click on this, you can see the value, the entry what we posted. Also, if you come to the posted values, posted means what is posted. See here, system 120 rupees acquisition value is done. So 1 rupee we posted. That's the depreciation entry we posted. You see that here is the set. System automatically calculates for each month how much is the depreciation for this particular asset. 1 rupee per month, and this is the sixth month 1 rupee. It is posted. It's in green. It's posted. Getting? So this is how system automatically track everything. And when you can come here and comparison, it will plan automatically for next 10 years, because we maintain 10 years for this asset. Next 10 years, what will be the depreciation? Acquisition is 120 for first year 7 rupees, second year 12 rupees, each month 1 rupee, 1 year 12 rupees. It is the same for everything. So 7001. So 14 rupees is like 2 rupees into 7 months. And posted values, you see this 2 rupees is posted, and next 6 months it's planned for next 2024, and 24 for next 10 years it is planned, because it's 10 years maintained. But for asset number 3, we maintained building 3, we maintained 20 years. You see that system is planned for next 20 years. What will be the depreciation? Each, what's the net book value at the end of the year? Same concept here. And if you want to see the depreciation entry, what is posted, you double click on this and you get this screen, and just click on this arrow mark, you get this screen here. So here there is a document number is there, 101. Like, see, the asset transaction was posted with document 01003. Copy this entry, copy this transaction, go to FB03 where I see the transactions, like FB03 financial transactions. Enter the document number and enter in keyboard. You see the depreciation entry what posted. See the asset number 7000 was credited. That is accumulated depreciation. Last GL 20009. Depreciation expenses debited. Same for 2 rupees, same for 1.5 rupees. It's one entry is posted for all the transactions, all the assets. I hope you are getting, everyone. Any
Yes, sir.
doubts?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this completes the depreciation. Now let us move to the next. Like here we see many what we say, like scenarios. So that means if you want to add asset, generally, like I may having the building, and I may construct something new, a new room, or I may construct another attached building for that. The value is going to be added. If you want to add asset, so if you want to add it, if you are following straight line method, this you don't understand now, but it's very much important just to have an idea on it. Straight line method, that is SLM. Okay, then to add asset value to existing asset, should create sub asset under main asset. What is this sub asset? What is this main asset? What we created right now, the building 1, building 2, building 3, that is main asset we call it. So if you want to something, you are adding something to this one, some values you want to add. So to track the separately depreciation and other things and all, we should add sub asset. I'm going to show you. Just say for example, for building 4, we have 480 rupees. Just assume that I'm going to add 120 rupees again. I purchased something new, or else I constructed something new. It is cost of 120 rupees. Then the total value is going to be 120. Just assume that 120. Like, so total value is going to be 120 plus it is going to be added here. But there is a problem. Like if you add directly to this, it's going to be depreciation will be calculated from the day. What happens in assets? If you go to AS01, see any T code, what you created is A01. It ends with masters, or generally it ends with 01. If you want to edit something, it's going to be AS02, that is edit master, edit asset master. AS03 for display. That means if you want to view that, display asset master. AS03. I go to AS03, and if you view that, let me take the first fourth one only. Here below that, system automatically updates these values after you purchase the assets. That is, it is purchased on 22/6/2024. So it is purchased, first acquisition is made on this, like this capitalized date. So based on this only, system calculates the depreciation. Based on this only, system calculates the depreciation. Now, if I add something, for example, after 2-3 months, like say, for example, in July, I purchase one more building, which is adjacent to this one. So I want to add to this. So whenever you want to add something, you should create a sub asset, you should not add new asset to this one. So just example, how to create sub asset. I'm going to show you that. Just assume that I'm going to purchase 120 rupees building for this adjacent to this one. I want to add the total value to this. So if you want to create additional asset for the same asset which already exists, then you should create sub asset, that is AS11. Create sub asset. Create sub asset. So how do you create? See, it's already there. If I go to AS11, system do not ask here asset class. It will ask asset, under which asset you want to create this. Are you getting my point? So here, when I was creating AS01, notice here, AS01 where we create asset, right? It was asking asset class. Here it's asking asset. This is under group I was creating. This is under asset I am creating. I'm asking system create one more sub asset, that is a related asset to that one. Under this asset, the same thing, it will copy everything. You don't need to do this. So you can make just okay, building 4.1. That's an identity, additional asset. The usage I tell you why everything will be same and everything is going to be depreciation started. Just delete this because I'm going to purchase this on July date. So purchases same as usual. I go to F-20, sorry, F-90. But this time I use the date 22/07 July. So remember, I'm using future date, but we are not in that. Just assume that we are in July now. So I want to add something new asset now. Why I'm using future date? The reason is I want to show you the difference, what it makes the sub asset, like if you add something. So assuming that we are already in July, we have posted the tenders and everything depreciation. Now we are in July. Just assume that like that. So with the same vendor, so this one is error it's giving. I'll correct this. I'll tell you about this, how to make all these things in future. Don't worry about it. Actually, it should be in what we call it, F5192. Why I don't show the error correction, right? If I add that in here, you will get confused when you are doing your practice. Okay, it's one. If I show that in recording, right, you try that one only. You leave the logic and you try that one only. Yes. Now I'm purchasing in the future date. So with the same vendor. Now it's giving warning. The same error, whatever it was giving, right? It's giving me warning. I tell you how to make it. Enter. And 120 rupees I'm adding. But this time 70 I will take. But I'm going to take this sub asset. Like see here. The asset, whichever the sub asset is created, right? It always creates with the main asset 0. These are whenever you get the 0 means it's main asset. Whenever you get like under that 1, 2, 3, 4, space 1, space 1 it has come. So this is sub asset. It is the asset under this asset. And same, everything is going to be the same. And save it. See, reference date is there, right? You have to update this reference date when you're entering future date. When you're entering future date means you have to update this reference date, whatever the date you want to calculate the depreciation. That means we are purchasing on uh, 26, 22, 7. Like next month I'm purchasing like that. And save this. Now you see this. I added this entry. Here, the report. I just refresh the report for as on 36. So what I'm getting here? Are you getting the depreciation value? There is no acquisition. There is no acquisition. This because the capitalization date is like this one. Like we purchased it on. We created today, but we purchased it on next month.
July.
July. The date is on 36. Just go back here and execute. The date should be correct, right? 31st actually it should be 30th, not 30th. Now you see. How it's going to be. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But there one thing is there you have not noticing, but I'll tell you later why it is and how. But this is how you have to maintain. Just have this idea in your mind. Just why I'm telling this one. Whenever you ask sub-assets are used like this for this purpose. Just have this idea because it will help you in real time. Real time, lot of things are going to be avoided because of this understanding. Now, after doing this, so let us go to the next section. What is this? We understood about what is sub asset. Next is we purchased asset and we did the depreciation. If you are selling asset, like we have the assets right now, AR01. We have to sell this. Suppose if I sell this 7,000 asset is there, right? For 120 rupees for July date. If I sell it on today, I purchased today, I want to sell it today. Okay. So the value as on 30th, like it's always values on 30th last date only because periodically it will show. The value is 190 rupees. Depreciation we have done already 1 rupee. So if I sell this 19 rupees asset, if like 7,000, the asset whichever we have purchased, right? The book value is right now 190 for as on June. If I sell this 125 rupees, what's the gain? 6 rupees profit, right?
Yes, sir.
If I do
Yes,
this,
sir.
if I sell it at 110 rupees, 9 rupees loss, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I want to sell this, I want the GL account first. So gain on sale of asset, loss on sale of asset, Then, so one is gain and loss on sale of asset. These are the two things we required. Okay, but there is one more there one more GL which we required, revenue clearing account. Revenue clearing GL. It's a GL. It is helps. I'll tell you the reason why we require a revenue clearing GL. That it's a GL should be created under non-operating operating account type in FS00. So what is this actually? Non-operating. We know that. So when we are creating, we have used two types of GL account. One is balance sheet and P&L account. So now we have to create under non-operating type. So you better understand what is non-operating accounting type when we go for controlling module. The contents when we start with this controlling, right? Okay. When I'm creating this cost centers and other things and all, I'm going to explain about non-operating. What is this non-operating? Why this type is exist? Explain about non-operating account type. Right now, don't worry about it. It's in revenue GL account we have to create. It's in revenue GL account, just like sales GL we created, right? You have to create this one under non-operating. What are the GLs? One is gain from sale of asset, so that should be other income. This is the first GL. It's another income. 410000. Loss from sale of asset. It's administration next GL account. 51001 we created. Next 5101 also created. Next is 2. That is it's in expenses. 5102. Or else we can create under other group, other expenses. That is 530000. Revenue clearing account. The last number of this other here, the last group number. Real time also we do the same thing. The last group is 410099. I tell you what's the use of this revenue clearing account, but just create as I'm creating right now. I tell you after posting an entry, I'll tell you what's the purpose of this GL. Let us create this 3 GL. It's all 3 are P&L account. P&L. This is non-operating P&L. So let me go to creation FS00. Go to creation. First GL we are creating. It's P&L account, and it should be other income. It is gain from sale of asset. And sort key as usual, and it should be G004. Sorry, G029. It's revenue account G029. Enter and save it. The second GL, loss on gain of others. So it comes under new group. That's other income. Other income is not there. Other expenses. I go to new, enter, and as usual, it's P&L account, and it should be under other expenses. It is loss on sale of asset. And control data as usual, sort key is 001, and here G004. It's an expenses. Save. The third one is revenue clearing GL. It's the last number of this other income. What you should do, you can copy from here only. That's other income. Okay. Why I'm copying purposefully, but I'm going to change many things here. One is you should not select P&L account. It should be non-operating expenses income. That's one change. Okay. It's a revenue clearing GL account. Next, go to control data. Here, nothing to do. But here, as it's a revenue account also, but you should select G052, which is mainly made for asset retirement. What does it mean, retirement? If you sell the asset, it's retirement only. Here, for revenue clearing GL, field status group should be G052. Okay, remember. Select this and say. So 3 GLs we created. Now let us again. So whenever you want to post any transactions or something like anything, so if you want to sell an asset, you don't need to manually select the GL and post the transactions, calculate the values. System automatically do the activities. I go to A190 again. That's why I didn't close that this one. Here we set the system under depreciation. We set the system. If you are doing the depreciation, it should be like this. But I go to balance sheet account for this asset group. If I do the sale, or if I get the loss on sale of asset, if I do the loss on sale of asset, here an option. If I get the loss, then this system should post to this GL account. If I get the gain from sale of asset, then system should post to this GL account. And revenue clearing GL account is there. You have to assign it on the second one. Clearing account for revenue for asset sales. Just assign this. I tell you the reason. Enter. So again, the same concept. Like if I do the sale of asset, system automatically finds this, comes and check the GL account here. Okay, these are the GL account need to be posted. Yes, system automatically pick up the things. And as we already have the values of the depreciation book value based on the date what we are selling, system calculates the values and it posts automatically. See, this is the concept. It works everywhere in SAP. Just slowly understand this. This is very much important step. This is the beginning of ABCD of account determination. So I save this transaction now and let me sell the asset. So I'm going to sell this first asset. Okay, I show you. I may sell it for higher price or lesser price. I show you that entry. Go to T-code code ABAON. Sale of asset without customer. Without customer means cash and carry. We just selling asset scrap. Just like a scrap we are selling. We are not identifying customer. We're just taking the cash or something, whatever the mode. ABAON. Now you will understand what I'm doing till now, what I did. ABAON. What you should tell now? I want to sell the asset of building 1 700 space 0 as the date posting date is 26/0, but asset value date is Always it should be month end. It may be this month, next month, whatever the month. This should be month end 30th. So the asset value date means the value of asset on which date the system should take. As we are maintaining from periodically, so the system is going to take the values as on the like periodic end of the date. And the narration you can enter asset sale without customer. The revenue what we are getting the revenue of 119 rupees. For a 125 rupees asset value, what we had 119 rupees asset value as on 30th 6, that is June. We are selling at 110 rupees. That means 9 rupees loss I should get, right? Just I'm mentioning the revenue is 110, and I go here extras. I should go to extras and simulate. Now you see the transaction here. System automatically calculated the values of 9 rupees loss. It's picked up the loss GL here. Notice here the loss GL, loss on sale of, because I'm getting the loss because of this 9 rupees. That 120 rupees the value which I purchased. So I recovered the value of accumulated depreciation 1 rupee. The book value is 119 rupees, but I'm getting the revenue of 110 rupees. So that 9 rupees is loss. If I go back and change it to 125 rupees, that's 6 rupees profit. And go to extras here and simulate. See that the same GL is changed into gain from sale of asset. That is, it's 6 rupees extra we are getting. We are getting 125 rupees, that 6 rupees profit we are getting. Automatically system change the GL and value. Are you getting how system is doing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Lakshmi.
Yes, sir.
Lakshmi, I don't see confidence in your voice, sir. Always, yes, sir. You have to be very confident. See, in corporate, specifically in consulting, you have to talk, whether you know or don't know. You have to talk. Okay, that's the only way, because you are going to talk to the top people. Really, that's the way we connect the people here. We always connect to the CEOs, CFOs like this. So that I'm not telling that you're talking good, but you should have confidence voice. Don't worry whether you know or no. Yes, sir. Yes, the way communication is very much important. Hmm? Got it?
Okay, sir.
English medium, Kannada medium, so Tamil medium.
No, sir, English medium.
Arshita, English, Kannada. Huh? I didn't get Arshita. No, your voice is not getting your voice. No, no, your voice. Mic, check out your mic, please. Deepa,
Kannada medium, sir. Government school.
very good. Same pinch. Okay. Hmm? See, in corporate, you have to talk. That's the only way you can. That means talk means the client handling is like that. It's always that means like you have to learn that also. It's not only SAP learning. You have to understand that also. Yes. Now you see that this is how system is going to check up. And now we are having some errors occurred, something loud. So this specifically it is error occurred because to make you understand something. See the document, incorrect document number, the document selected between 03 or something it is taken. Some error it's coming here. Okay, let me check out what is this. Whenever you get any error, right, I always say that first you try yourself, then you come to me or go to R&D and do the R&D, try yourself, then you can come to me so that it will make you better on, like self-dependency it will create. Something I am getting, I can go inside. What system is incorrect document, like something one selected between 03 and 0399, and the document number specified one numbers for appropriate number range. It is relating to some number range. See, you have to notice one thing here. The document type is AA. The number range is connected to document type always. System automatically take the document type. So let me go to what is the T code to create document number ranges? We created, right? Document number ranges. You have created more than 6 or 7 copies, everyone. Hmm? Document number ranges in organization structure.
OBB 0.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Sir, for assets, we set
Not
number range.
assets. I'm talking about document number ranges. Assets are master data number ranges. GL, vendor, customer, BP, assets are master data number ranges. Document number
FB,
ranges we create. Hmm? Yes.
FBN1.
Yes. Great. Everyone should have this clarity. FPN1 document number ranges. So here for our company code BI-21, we had created many number ranges. How it is connected to document type? You don't know actually. I'm going to tell that. So go to document type OBA7. The document type what where we are getting error AA asset posting. Double click on this. You have this 03 here. 03 here. So this 03 is connected here. That's it. Not a big deal. This is how it's interconnected. So we discuss this later. The problem is somebody is created as external number range. It should not be external. Document numbers, generally external numbers should not be there, and save it. That's the reason system is taking that error. Okay, whatever it is, just have this clarity how it is correct. See, this is how you slowly understand SAP. You have to connect the dots. Whenever you get the error right, don't get irritated and don't think that okay, SAP should be easy. Easily you have to finish the what finish of your assignments, finish of your practice. If you get more errors, means your understanding is not correct. And if you are trying something new, means your understanding is correct. You are trying to understand something new, means that's great. You have to beyond your limit. Try beyond your limit. Don't try only within that limit. Now I made that external remove. Now I do the same thing again. That I redo this transaction. I go to AB, AON, AB. Here itself is there. ₹125 and simulate. Oh, still I'm error getting error. But this error is different. Okay, so this is our partner's error. See, in this system only we get. I don't know who is doing this operation. Why he goes and check this posting please every time? I'll correct it in backend. Sorry. These days he is doing many like this. X, 40. Yes. Now it is corrected. How did I correct? Don't worry. The expertise you will get it later. Now you see that the entry is clear. There is no error or something. The entry is getting clear, and this is the entry, and I save this transaction. So once I save this transaction, system generates one document number from the AA document type. The importance here, how it is affected our asset. So come here to AW01N, where Asset Explorer you can do it. Enter the asset which you want, just you have done. See that I have retained this one like 7001. What we have done, so 120 rupees we purchased, external acquisition, and we sold it as on 36. System automatically updated this. We sold it for 125 rupees, and depreciation was collected as 1 rupee, and 6 rupees we got the profit. So system automatically adjusts this transaction. And if you come to the posted value, system is more. So whatever the planned values for there, it has been done, because this asset been retired. Retired means it has gone out of the balance sheet. Then it's closed the account. Posted value only is there. There is no other additional planning value. If you go to the second asset, you see that the second asset has that. So the planned value is still there because it still exists. But if you come to the first asset, the planned values, because that's retired, automatically it updates this. I hope you are getting my point. Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, if I come to this entry, there is one GL has come as revenue clearing GL. What is the purpose of this? Like it should be like cash. We are receiving the cash. Yes, of course, it should be cash. So why we are getting the revenue clearing GL instead of like where cash and carry means it has to go to automatically cash and carry. That one. So the purpose is, see, if you go back to 20 years or 20, 15 years, cash, that means like 2000 or 1995 or 2000 till 2005 or something, or maybe 2010 or 15. There was a concept of like, okay, if you're selling something without customer or something, scraps and other things, we used to take the cash. That was the cash was the only mode other than check. Cash was the only mode other than check. But now the trend is getting changed. What you see that we can like if I give the some scraps to this scrap person, he may pay through like online, like he may do the Google Pay, he may do the Phone Pay, he may like to make the online transfer of the amount whatever he wanted to give the customer, what he buy, whoever is bought this. There are many ways of collecting the money. So that means we cannot fix that. Okay, okay, he's going to give the money like this. He is going to give the money like that. That's the reason what system will do. System will put you into a contra GL. This is the contra GL. That's the reason I mentioned it is a clearing. What happens once it is confirmed? Okay, we have received this entry. What the entry it has come? So it's that value of 125 rupees has come to revenue clearing GL. It's like what happens now? I had been like the asset value was 119 rupees, and I received. I copy this entry itself. It's simple. This is asset, and this is accumulated depreciation. So what happens? 125 rupees. It's been debited here. So it could be cash also. But cash I cannot enter. It's automatic entry system generated. I cannot judge, okay, whether he's going to give the cash, whether he's going to give the online, right? So that's the reason it's in a temporary GL. Once he gives the cash or check or online, what we do, the accounts department will make this transaction. That means they are going to credit this entry. That means minus and debit. Okay, if he gives in the cash mode, cash here. If he gives in the bank here, they'll make actual 125 rupees debit. Got what's the purpose of this revenue clearing GL? Okay, got it? It's now it's knocked off. Debit and credit. It's a debit entry. It's a credit entry. Clear na?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, we have done this. And there is three, four scenarios are there. Okay, I don't want to push everything. There is one is scrapping is left, scrapping of asset. Okay, next one is sale of asset with customer. Then finally we have partial retirement. These are the three things which you have to see in this topic, in this asset. Other than this, we have other topic like AUC, asset under construction, and also legacy. All these things, AUC and asset under construction, that is AUC and this legacy system, data update and other things. One thing partial this AUC we'll see when we introduce this internal order. When I'm doing internal order, I'm going to cover that AUC also, because AUC is similar to this internal order, and also we required for AUC we required controlling module, and also this one this legacy data transfer we are going to understand at the time of this specifically year-end act, not year-end activities, legacy data, right? Legacy transfer, we can do that, and I show you here only, it's better. But it's going, if I show it now, it's going to be a little bit confused at this moment. No, I don't want to show it now. I'll show it later stage. Legacy asset or data transfer. So with assets. This I'm going to take it later. See what I'm trying to cover, right? So I'm giving whatever is possible to you to understand at this moment. You may be a little bit clever, or you might be something having idea, but it's not much important. You have to slowly connect the dots here. Everything, if I push everything at once, now relating to all assets related activities, if I push everything. So if I want to push the AUC, then I have to tell about the controlling model. If I want to tell about the controlling model, I should have the FI understanding properly. You should have that FI understanding properly. Whenever you have that FI understanding properly, only you can understand what's the purpose of controlling. That you can understand only when you are seeing these financial reports. If you want to see the financial reports, we have to see all this activity. I said one thing, if you remember, so after these three entries, the other entries are going to be the basis, these three only. Today we are using GL, we are using accounts payable, and now tomorrow we are going to use the account receivables. So that means it's going to be the base for every entry. So what is that? You do here controlling if you want to understand, so some of the topics of the assets will be covered later stage after activating controlling, after doing some other activities which are required for your interview and also career. Okay, so today we'll stop here because it's going to be heavy if I push it. That's the thing also. uh, we will connect tomorrow and we'll finish off this assets tomorrow, and also some of the other banking concept, then we will take break. Okay,